I got rid of it. I live downtown. I can't park it anymore. I don't fit in parking garages.
Yeah.
But I'll jump out and I'll be like,
Who are you?
the death's there. Like, oh, broom's over there, kid. Nah, listen here, bud. I'm in that nice, fancy, warm machine. So they always used to give me shit. And, you know, like the running joke is, must be nice to be an operator. You know, everything's warm inside. You got the Cadillacs to the Cadillacs. It's like, yeah, you should have picked a different trade. Sorry you're in the cold with a broom.
Welcome, guys, to another episode of Consciously Curious, where we deep dive with those that are thriving in their industry. Our next guest is a near and dear friend to my heart. We've been buddies since maybe 2012-ish from the ambulance. We kind of started as baby EMTs. We've spent many holidays together in the back of the ambulance with a spread of good food on our stretcher.
Ooh, the filthiness.
But these days you can find him as the foreman or yard manager at the Stockyard Materials on 41st and Ashland, 40th and Ashland?
40th and Ashland,
40th and Ashland. Anthony, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
And you have a kind of a handful of hats that you wear, so we'll kind of dive into it.
Yeah.
We'll focus on being an operating engineer for today, but you are a critical care paramedic as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess let's start there, so people who don't know who we are, who you are, have a reference point. And so, growing up, even before EMS, what did you think your trajectory of your life path would be? Like, did you have a vision of where you wanted to go?
Yeah. So, I mean, I knew in high school that college wasn't for me. School's never been for me.
Okay.
I'm a terrible test taker, unless you know it's beneficial. So, I think junior year in high school, I had a kind of straight path that I wanted to be in EMS in some sort, kind of in the medical field. So, I graduated high school. Got into college, told my mom, said, look, I'm not going to college. I'm going to waste your money. So I took the first responder class at Malcolm X to see if I liked it.
Okay.
Because I didn't want to go through all this years and years of schooling and then just be like, it's not for me.
But you knew of that career path. I didn't even, if it wasn't for Marty, I wouldn't have known what an EMT was.
Yeah.
Do you have family in it?
My father was a Chicago fireman for, God, so many years, and then got hurt and then got kicked off, and then just my uncle was a fireman as well.
Yeah.
So they do offer a high school program. It's called CPFTA, which I did not know about. I wish I did, because it would have been more beneficial. But I took the first responder class, fell in love, applied for EMTB at Malcolm.
Yeah.
Went through that in 2011, graduated in 11, got my license in 12.
Okay.
Jumped on an ambulance for...
Oh, same. Yeah. Cool.
Yeah, because we started in May together at ATI.
We were in the same... We were?
Yeah, it was me, you, Stella.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Earl, Larson.
Wow.
There's 25 of us.
It's kind of a blur by now.
Yeah, so we did that. Was on an ambulance for a few years. Went back to school, finished everything up, and then applied to paramedic school at Malcolm.
Yeah.
And then... at that point, I was like, this is what I'm going to do for the rest of my life.
Okay.
So. And
at what point did you decide that it was time for a change?
I think the older I got.
Because I left because I wasn't happy with the money. And so I there was an opportunity at Northwestern, and when I was there, I got grew some roots there. I was like, who can I bring on, and who do I think would like to come on to Northwestern? And you were one of those people that I thought of, and it turns out it wasn't for you, or people treated you not the way they should have treated you, and you were a fresh graduate from a paramedic program, and you're like, I want to be utilizing my skills, and I'm not doing that here. And so it wasn't a fit for you.
No. So, I mean, first of all, thank you for that opportunity, per usual. But, I mean, to the beginning of the question, yeah, the older I got, the more I realized that you can't make a living off of $18 an hour.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, for the amount of schooling that we go through.
And what were you making? Were you making back then? If we were to be transparent, because I left making 13.
Oh God, when
Right? Like it's like that's why I left.
starting medics made $13.
That's why I left.
So I was kind of a slap in the face when you go through. I mean, when you think about it, it's like we just went through 2 years of schooling, countless
And I made
nights
$1 more.
for $1. I could have stayed in EMT and made $1.50 less.
Yeah, but then you're stuck in this limbo of like I want to do more, and you know it's just like the fulfillment versus the get paid what you deserve.
Yeah, and you know what? It falls back onto the private life, where they like to go around and around that there's no money and we can't give you this, and everything is BLS based, and you know we appreciate you and you're there for us, but we don't appreciate you. Which is, it's like,
Actions speak louder.
what?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I got sick of making, I think when I left, it was $19, but I was critical care, vent certified,
Right.
8 years at the company. I mean, I had every cert and everything that you could offer. So I hit my glass ceiling, and they wouldn't give me any more money. And I was like, you know what, I'm done with this. So I did my last shift. I had applied for previous jobs, you know, years and years before, and then finally it fell into place. And then I was just like, all right, I'm out. You know, I found my window. I went to Northwestern with you. I just graduated medical school, so I was full of knowledge. I knew everything about everything.
Right.
And so the transition from emergency medicine into a hospital-based setting of patient care and non-patient care, I just couldn't.
Right. Well, you don't have any responsibility anymore.
I couldn't cope. So I was like, I didn't go through all this schooling to come here and make a bed or be a drug runner or, you know, clean a laryngoscope. I was like, this is just.
Right.
It's not for me. It's pointless. So I kind of fell back, and you know, I wasn't happy there. Like you weren't happy in the ambulance, I wasn't happy in a hospital-based setting. I'm a people person, so I want to be interacting. I want to make people laugh. I want to make people feel, you know, like it's okay. Like this is an important time in your life. It's a vulnerable moment for you and your families, and we're here to make it better. And I can't do that when someone's knocked down on anesthesia on the table, and I'm just standing there staring through a little screen of the Da Vinci arms going to town.
Right. And so when you came to that decision, why go back to ATI and why not seek out like a 911 contract, right? So like I was teaching at the time, I was still at Northwestern, and I was rehashing old ATI stories. I'm like, I got to get back on an ambulance. And that's where Jose De La Rosa hooked me up with Cicero. Yeah. Great experiences. Definitely a pay cut, but it's worth it. The value was from the experience, but like buds on the south side. So like, why not, you know, if you really wanted to utilize those skills, why not on those types of ambulances?
Yeah, that's a good question. The ambulance, no matter where you work, it kind of becomes like a family. It's family knit. So granted, the people you work with, like there was never a day where I was just like, oh man, I gotta go to work. This sucks. Like I always look forward to going to work because of the people that I worked with. Like they made it fun. It wasn't really work. It was more of, you know, hanging out with a buddy.
Sure.
And, you know, kind of messing around throughout the day. But when it needed to be serious, it was serious. We did see somewhat of things that we could use our skills to a point. I mean, most of it's, you know, pretty straightforward and blatant.
But is there a part of you that wanted to be in a firehouse?
Oh, there was always, I mean, that's the dream.
Yeah.
There'll always be a part of it.
I love that. That was probably one of my favorites, like in Cicero. I mean, even though it was like a subsidiary or superior, you're still getting the private ambulance pay, but you're in a fire. Like the culture's there, you know, the firehouse culture's there, and the setting's there, and the 911 experience is there. So I took it for that.
For me, I grew up in a different household. So I know that in order to achieve what you want to achieve, you got to start at the bottom. So unfortunately, private life is the bottom. So you work your way up, you fine-tune your skills, you find your craft, you pretty much make yourself the best that you can be until you get called to the big leagues. So for me, it was work on an ambulance until you're completely comfortable with what you can do. I mean, your hands are our tools. granted our brain is too, but if I can't look at somebody and say, hey man, you're probably going to die in the next 30 seconds. If it doesn't click for me, then if I went to a 911 service and it didn't click on the private life where I'm exposed to, so many patients throughout the day, sick, non-sick, then when I get to the big leagues, it's second nature, it's muscle memory.
But then wouldn't you want to go to the minors first?
Private life is the minors.
I would consider Cicero to be the minors.
Really?
Yeah. I would consider private to be the little league, then, graduate to the minors, because Cicero, and I'm just using Cicero as an example, but like it felt like a mini Chicago. It's a good mix of trauma and medical and all that stuff. So when a lot of the medics that get called from Cicero, Chicago is just like, it's just now the money just is better.
Yeah.
But I say that because I feel like not as many private ambulance paramedics are as proactive about keeping up with their skills as maybe you might be. Yeah. And so you might be ready by the time you get called to the majors, but I don't think most privates probably won't be, And so having that minor league experience would help.
Absolutely. Most people that you've worked with or work with or you've seen in the past or work at different companies, we're all the same in a sense. We all just go to work to collect a check. We don't really care because we're not going to see anything, and we know that. We know walking into the beginning of the day, like, hey, I'm not going to get a gunshot today.
Yeah.
Or I might get a cardiac arrest, but there's a good chance I'm not.
Right.
There's a better chance of winning the lottery at that point. So, I mean, it's hard to justify against it, but when you go to school and you learn everything, and then when you graduate and you're like, oh, I'm transitioning from BLS to ALS, you know what you're walking into. There's no closed doors like, this is what you're getting. Like, I know I'm doing dialysis calls. I'm doing hospital transports. I'm not doing multi-traumas. I'm not doing car accidents. Mm-hmm. So there's always a sense of me that, I know better. I never expect much. So, Cicero was a good idea at the time, but
oh yeah, because I wasn't the only one that thought of you at Cicero.
No, there was
Buckley thought of you. I'm sure because there were some other.
There was a few people who tried to get me on.
I know Fernando came on as a fire on the fire side.
Yeah,
because
when you work for a private, you're not allowed to work for another private.
I know.
So I didn't want to leave ATI to go to Superior, and it was almost a $7 pay cut at that point.
Yeah,
when you're dependent on $17 an hour. You kind of need the extra $7. It goes a long way.
Well, not only that, I'm sure even at ATI you were probably still picking up OT, but a lot of the medics would either by choice pick it up or be forced to pick up OT.
Yep. Absolutely.
So, I personally would, am finding myself leaving the field because I don't want to have to put in, 65, 70 hours a week just to make ends meet. Oh. Like, companies shouldn't have to justify, we pay you this much because you're going to be given 5 to 10 hours of OT every week. But that's such a shitty way to justify.
At $17 an hour, your OT is not even $26. Give me a break, will you?
Yeah.
So, 65 hours a week to not even clear $800 is just...
Okay.
What am I doing?
And so now that you're critical care, long-term goal is to get on a fire department, maybe Chicago.
Yeah.
And so is it going to be easy for you to, would you ever, lose your critical care? Or would you want one foot still in the private life? Do you like critical care or you don't really care?
No.
It's just something to get?
It's funny because I was forced to take critical care.
Oh, that's interesting.
By the EMS director at the company. So basically she cornered me and said, hey, I'm signing up for this class. And you're going to take it. And I was like, no, I'm not. I don't want to be critical care. I want nothing to do with any of that. I don't even want to be event certified. $50 a call, and then you're going to tax me? Come on. I'm working for free at that point. So they signed me up, and on top of that, the class that I took, they just changed from the University of Iowa to the University of Maryland at Baltimore, which was like...
Is that a really good?
Oh my God! It was like
great program.
The king of the king.
Okay.
It's the cream of the crops. And it was a 4-week program at Superior's headquarters in Elgin. So
Elmhurst.
Elmhurst.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah.
So It's an hour drive for me.
Every day?
Every day, Monday through Friday.
They didn't even put you up?
No, they didn't put you up. Are you kidding me? I'm lucky I even got to class. So every day, Monday through Friday, an hour there, an hour home in rush hours, 8 to 3 or 8 to 4 or something.
Yeah.
You come out, we're going to sign you up. You just got to give us a year of your life as critical care. Or else we won't have to, you won't have to pay us back. $5,000. What the fuck? Yeah, I was like, $5,000. That's what I make in like 3 months. Are you kidding me? So you're forced to take the class because you can't tell them no. They tried to get me the year before, but I just became a medic. And I was like, I don't know anything about ALS life yet to even jump into critical care. Like, I'm not doing myself justice. So they were kind of butthurt about that. Mm-hmm. And then after a year, they're like, okay, yeah, you're more than you're well off now. So here you go. Slipped me in. You know, I acclimated to critical care. And then I was like, yeah, this is not worth any of it. Between the level of responsibility and stress that they burden you with, I was just so overwhelmed. Like, my first call. So you've got to do X amount of calls with the preceptor to be deemed competent.
Yeah.
My first call of coming off of my precepting was a lady who was hit by a car. So she was intubated. She was on a ventilator. She was on 4 different drips. And they weren't like the mom and pop drips of like sodium and amiodarone. They were like top-notch drips. Like morphine, levofed.
Yeah, pressors, yeah.
Amiodarone. I mean, she was on the... And I was like, what do I do? I told my partner, I was like, I ain't ready for this, dude. Let me drive. He's like, no, you got to learn. You got to learn. I was like, shit. So I was freaking out. And they tell you, like, the titrations, and the doc's like, hey, keep her pressure between 90 and 100, and if her heart rate spikes, drop it down, and just monitor her PEEP settings. And I was like, whoa, what?
Right.
So for $50, and they don't.
Wait. I thought $50 was just for the vent. Isn't there a bonus for the critical care?
No, it's $50 either way. Yeah.
What if it just was just a vent patient without the drips?
Then whoever's running the vent gets the 50.
That's bull. Oh wait, and then if it's critical care, both medics.
If it's critical care, if it's critical care and they're on a ventilator, then we both get it because I get the 50 for the vent and you get the 50 for critical care.
Oh, so the driver gets it too?
Yeah, for doing nothing.
What the fuck?
You're not even going lights and sirens. You're stopping at every red light. This patient's gonna flatline in any second. I'm back there sweating bullets. Like, give me a break, man. Get me to the hospital ASAP. Like, I want to get rid of this patient as quickly as possible. So I'm like, man, I'm not cut out for this. So I told the person who does the scheduling, I was like, I'm done. Don't put me on this no more. Like, it is not worth it. I'm not going to lose my license over this company because at the end of the day, if something happened, you ain't backing me up.
Yeah.
So I slowly made a transition out from critical care. Like, I work it here and there, but I work with, like, the people who've been doing it for a long time. So I'm a little bit more comfortable if shit did hit the fan. But at the end of the day, I'm like, yeah, I'm not anywhere near where I need to be anymore. Like, I can't even run a ventilator anymore, which is sad. Because it's dummy proof. It has every setting for you. You just turn a knob.
Right.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. At the bare minimum, was the equipment up to par?
When I...
like the most frustrating thing is like when a monitor doesn't work. Even though it might be for the most basic reasons of needing someone to go ALS because they need to be on a monitor. But like some like electrode is like fizzy. It's not like fuzzy. It's not working and stuff. Like that's frustrating.
It's ridiculous when you think about it. Like here we are working. We're on an ambulance, multi-million-dollar company, and yet our monitors are from 1990, and our ventilators are from the 70s. I've never even heard of the ventilators that we were using, and I finally looked them up. The one that we got was from like 1982.
What is the manufacturer even around to like fix these things anymore? Like
no.
What the fuck? How are we?
You would service it. It would be a universal service company, and you'd send it out, and they would replace the filters. They would replace the knobs or whatever the case may be. But for the most part, you couldn't get parts for it. And I mean, the doors were broken. The screen was cracked. You couldn't read the tidal volumes. The PEEP, like, it was just one line. Like, if they had to be on one, okay, they're on one. But you just had to close your eyes and click.
Oh my God.
So right when I started to kind of transition out, we got Zoll monitors, the brand new ones, were like 35 grand. And then we got new ventilators, which another big jump. But we got new ambulances. So our equipment kind of came up to par. But I mean,
training and like precepting wasn't meeting.
No. Yeah. I mean, I asked the lady who was in charge of it. I was like, "Hey, there's this setting that keeps going off. It won't disengage." She goes, "Well, what's it read?" And I told her what it read. She goes, "Yeah, I don't know what that is. Look it up on YouTube."
Oh.
I said, "Yeah, I got a patient on the vent, and you want me to look up how to troubleshoot it through YouTube?" She goes, "Yeah, I haven't crossed that yet. So when you figure it out, call me so you can explain it to me." I was like, "Yeah, I'm done. This is ridiculous."
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. All right.
So
interesting.
That was my slowly fading out.
And so dream job would be on the fire side or the medic side?
Medic side.
Medic side.
Yeah.
Interesting.
No desire for burning buildings.
Yeah, me too. Yeah. Interesting.
No.
And so, but we talked about this prior. You're in no rush to get on.
No, I'm in a good position in life now where if they call and when they call, I'll be ready to take it. Like if they call me tomorrow, it'd be a hard, it'd be a hard thing for me to leave what I'm doing now to go there. But if they call me in 2 or 3 years, I'd be like, okay, yeah, I'm ready.
Okay.
I've did what I could doing what I'm doing. Let me try something else.
Yeah. In the EMT class, we just kind of finished documentation, and we kind of emphasized the importance of being very thorough and comprehensive in your patient care reports. Have you ever been subpoenaed in? Has any of your patient care reports been subpoenaed? Not necessarily because of you, but because it's just evidence.
I did have one. I wasn't called in on it. They did pull it. I was emailed and questioned about it. But nothing ever became of it. I think they got the guy back who the call concerned. It was a routine transport from hospital to hospital, and it was for an NSTEMI. And, we did our basics. We covered our asses in a sense, and completely asymptomatic throughout the entire time. I mean, his troponin was high, but yeah, it's normal. So we did a 12 lead, vitals, everything's cool. We're having a conversation back and forth. Now it's rush hour. It's 6 o'clock in the morning. So it took us almost 45 minutes to get to where we needed to be. So we walk through the door. I talk to the charge nurse. I'm giving a report. Hey, this is your transfer, blah, 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 blah. And the guy's talking to me. He's joking around. I say, hey, man, give me a few minutes. We're going to get you a bed. Mm-hmm. We'll be on our way. And I shit you not, from the time that I gave the nurse the demographic chart and turned around, his arm was hanging off the stretcher. Now, me being me, the jokester I am, I say, hey, man, pick your arm up, because if you fall, I'm not going to pick you up. You're too big. And then he just, decorticate posturing and started, seizing. And I was like, oh, fuck, dude. It's too early for this. So I, looked to the monitor, and it's just straight vfib.
Oh,
and I was like, God damn it. So I looked at the doc. I'm like, hey, doc, he's in vfib. Can we get a bed? He's like, what? I said, he's in vfib. I'm screaming top of my lungs in the ER. He's in vfib. Give me a fucking bed. So we get him in a bed. And I think they worked him for 45 minutes to an hour. And this guy was old, 52, which was...
But, not too old,
Not too old, no. But he's, outside the parameters of working somebody that long.
Yeah.
So they got him back after an hour.
I'm sure, it was witness arrest,
by the entire ED staff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Grape lodged in the throat. So they worked him for over an hour, and they got him back, and then I got a...
Oh, great.
I don't know if they...
for sure. But at the time.
There.
And so you still transported?
Yeah, we went from hospital to hospital. As soon as I walked in ER, he went out.
Oh, I thought... No, from the picking up?
I picked him up at Roseland. Had him in the back of the ambulance for 45 minutes.
Oh, so you've already... Okay, so this is at the destination.
Walked into Mount Sinai Hospital. As soon as I walked in, he went out.
I thought this is... Okay. Well, yeah. Wow, that's insane.
Yeah. So my run report got pulled. They questioned me. But nothing ever became of it. That was the only time that...
Yeah.
I got kind of in trouble for. They were like...
What trouble? You did everything right.
No, I did a 12 lead. My documentation was good. He's an ALS patient, so vitals were every 15 minutes.
Yeah.
He was asymptomatic.
Yeah. It's just, great. And how long ago was that call by the time you got questioned about it?
Probably 6 months.
Oh, I don't know if Tyler told you, but Tyler and I got called about a call like 3 years, like.
Yeah.
And I couldn't even read my handwriting.
We were actually working together. He's like, yeah, I got to go downtown and see a lawyer. I was like, what'd you do now? He's like, I'm getting subpoenaed from something that happened like 2014.
Right? Yeah. It was like a patient going from little company to Rush, and I think the patient ended up dying. Not in our care at all. It was like a routine transport, probably for respiratory distress. I think we placed the patient on, or we didn't place the patient on any call. I don't even know what it was, but like they were just trying to within my narrative to see if my wording was like, were they really SOB or were they not SOB? Yeah. And the doctors at one of the facilities was getting sued by the patient family, and they just called everyone that was in the patient's care into question. It's crazy how like when we say like how important it is, like it's important.
Yeah, it's very stressed. And abbreviations is a big thing because people make things up.
Right.
There's been times where I've read it.
When you're on like the big city, like it goes double and triple with how important it is, because like the number of times you'll probably be called in to question is like it's gonna skyrocket.
And it's funny because you say that. So when you go through Malcolm's program and you do your summer internship, you ride with the city of Chicago, obviously. And so if you get a good preceptor and like you two mesh together and they kind of trust you in a sense. I mean, you're there to learn. Right. So documentation is a big thing in EMS. So they actually let you document some runs. Now, granted, I had a really cool preceptor and, you know, I knew my stuff and I wasn't, you know, messing around.
Yeah.
So they let me do it. But when I looked at the PCR for the city of Chicago, it's a Dropbox. Everything is a Dropbox. There's no thinking. They have done
the narrative?
Everything.
What?
Everything is a Dropbox. And they dummy proof it for you. So it's like chest pain. And you hit the Dropbox. And it'll say, your onset. You hit it. For everything. Every chief complaint they have. Chest pain, shortness of breath, cardiac arrest.
Well, wait. But what about the narrative? You have to type up your narrative.
Yeah, but it's 3 sentences.
It shouldn't be.
Found patient lying on bathroom floor.
Right.
Crew pulled patient. CPR was started. 2 rounds of epi.
Yeah.
Patient pronounced dead.
Yeah.
With hospital, log number. Here's your MD.
Damn, no history, no like.
Nothing.
What the fuck?
And you read it and then you're just like,
I still don't know what's going on with this patient.
How do they get away with this?
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't
know. And it doesn't help that they feel pressure to because they probably get a call before they're done with that with the present call, you know. So
absolutely.
That doesn't help either.
No.
Yeah. Fuck.
It's a dog-eat-dog world out there.
And so let's transition to your current, you know, day to day. What led you to becoming an engineer, or what is it called?
Operating
engineer.
My stepdad has a plumbing business, so I was always around it.
Yeah.
We have machines, and you know, we do underground construction and snow removal and all that. So I was exposed to it at a young age. My family also has a trucking company, which we sold, and now we have a waste management company. So I've always been exposed to kind of the construction work life.
Sure.
So I started running my first machine at 13, 14.
Oh.
I was taught.
From a family business.
Yeah, you know, just get on there, just play around, just have fun. Just don't flip it. Don't break anything.
Okay.
All right, yeah, cool. This is like a, $200,000 piece of equipment, but it is what it is. So I was exposed to that. I always knew about the union, and so I just never kind of followed into that footstep. You know, I told my parents, like, hey, I really don't want to go to college. Like, I just want to work. Absolutely not. You're going to get a college education. You're going to do something you love.
What was their turnoff about the union work, about this kind of work?
I mean, I come from a blue-collar family,
because there's good money in it, right? A lot of people, you can make a living off of it.
Absolutely. You can make a phenomenal living off of it. I think it's just that generation of waking up Monday, 4 o'clock in the morning, going to work for 12 hours, coming home just physically and mentally beat. Then you got to play with the kids, get yelled at by the wife, and then do it all over again, Monday through Saturday. I think they try to transition away from that so that the children don't have to work as hard as them, but can make more money with a college education.
That's not always the case.
It's not. That's in a fairy tale world.
Yeah.
I mean, so...
Like, good intentions, but...
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they want the best for us, absolutely. But they told me no. They said, go to college, get an education, do something you love. If you love what you do, you'll never work a day in your life.
Which is true, yeah. And so what did they say when you're like, you realize you don't love college, you know?
Well, my mom was like, she was a little discouraged. She was like, well, you just have to apply yourself. You know, you're lazy, you're young, you don't really know what you want to do. I was like, no, I do. I want to be a paramedic. Like, that's my goal. And so I went through with everything. I did everything. I came out. I graduated one of the best programs in the state at the time. And she, you did such a good job, blah, blah, blah. And then I was on the ambulance for 2 years. And then I was just kind of like bummed out. I was like, Mom, I'm not really making any money. I'm living in your basement still.
Yeah.
Like, I want to do something. I want to be somebody. Like, I want to make my own story.
Right.
And she was, all right, well, what do you think you want to do? And I was like, well, I kind of want to work on machines. She goes, like a mechanic? I was like, no, like I want to be like the guy who's digging in the machines on the side of the highway. Or I just want to be on a machine. Like, that's like what I know. Like, I'm good at it. I know what I want to do. And so she's like, no, absolutely not. So I applied to the union without her even knowing. And I applied like 3 years ago back. And I got a call 2 years ago. So it took me a year to get a phone call.
Did you have to constantly reapply, or just your ad was in?
So every year they do an open enrollment. So I applied every year for 3 years.
Interesting. And so is that the only way to go about it? Like, we talked about union versus non-union. Like, you can't approach a site. You can, but your chances of getting on are unlikely if you're not young in the union, right? Okay.
Absolutely. Gotcha. So, I mean, you can always get hired by a company as a non-union employee, and then you can get put into the union on a permit. So you're on a work permit.
Okay.
So you have to work X amount of hours on this permit, and you're restricted to working at this company only. So, I mean, there's loopholes.
Yeah. Is that kind of like someone's way of like foot in the door kind of thing?
Exactly. Okay. It's like I guess it's like a mom and pop kind of shop. Like, you're the owner. Hey, I hear you're a good worker. We're going to pay you $25 an hour. You're going to run the machine, do all the jobs that a union operator would do. And then we'll see what your worth is, and we'll see if you're worthy enough for me, the owner, to put you in the union.
See, the owner has that much say?
Oh, yeah.
Interesting.
I mean, the owner is the puppeteer.
Are you talking about the owner of the union or owner of the site?
The owner of the company.
You're right.
The owner of that company.
Has that much power over the union?
Yeah. Like, hey, I got these 2 guys. I want to put them in the union. Oh, really? Okay. Well, just send us a check and your contributions, and we'll get a BA down there. We'll sign them up, and they're in the union.
Wow.
Done. No questions. The only question they ask is, what contract do you want to put them under?
Is that their title?
No, the contract is the basis of the hourly pay.
Oh, okay.
So do you want to put them at the low contract where you pay them $25, $30 an hour, or do you want them in a high end?
And that's the low end, huh? That's interesting, if that is, which is more than what
No, well, apprentices start at $25.
That's insane. Good for them. I'm just like that, but like
first-year apprentice.
Somebody
with no experience.
We were just talking about leaving a job that was paying 13 to 15, 18, 19, and then you can go starting 25.
No college.
Yeah,
nothing.
That's insane.
You just apply, get in. Hey, yeah, you're an apprentice. $25 an hour. We'll teach you everything you need to learn over the next 4 years on the job.
Wow, so not as much pressure. It's spread out over 4 years.
4 years.
That's great.
Yeah.
Why do you think it took so long for you to actually get called by the union?
Well, so I'm part of Local 150, and that's a very powerful union in this state.
Yeah.
We have 8 jurisdictions, I guess, that range from northwest Indiana to northeast Iowa.
Okay.
Plus Illinois.
Okay.
So every member of the union has to pay a contribution fee. We pay our monthly dues. We pay The more you make, the more they take. So, if I make $2,500 a week, they're taking X amount of dollars off my check,
Sure.
plus my union dues, plus my contributions. So, they're doubling up on every member. We have 33,000 members in this union.
Okay.
So they always tell us, like, hey, we're not, the more members, the better. But they're very strict on who they allow in. They don't want to just let anybody, any Joe Schmo in. Yeah, I used to work at Starbucks, but I want to be an operator. Yeah, no, you have no experience. You have nothing to do in this work field. So you don't know a shovel from a power drill,
Yeah.
So they allow people in based off of previous experience. A lot of people are laborers.
Okay.
They transition from a union laborer or a non-union laborer into Local 150, which is just in a machine. Well, they know how the machines work. They know how to grease it. They know how to troubleshoot it. They know how to operate it. They know kind of the ins and outs, not as fine-tuned as us as the operator, but they have the general concept.
Okay.
So they're easier to train than the guy
Sure.
who's coming in as a first-year apprentice.
And do you guys, with these dues, do you see the benefits of these dues? Like,
Yeah.
or is it hard to grasp sometimes? Like, do people feel like, man, where are my dues going? I don't feel any like support or.
Well,
Because that's honestly how I felt Cicero.
that's a whole different union.
I know.
That's a shit union. A union, basically, the union means the more members, the stronger the union.
Mm-hmm.
So with 33,000 members, each member's paying $40 a month
Okay.
just to work. Now with this union, we have, oh God, where do I start? Free healthcare clinic. Everything's free. Vaccine for the member, the spouse, everybody.
Oh.
DOT cards, physicals, dental, eyes, shots, like you name it, we got it for free. We have.
And so those are the very tangible things. What if, like, a job site was trying to screw you over? If I don't know, just the power of the union, could they prevent something like that from happening?
Absolutely.
Oh, okay.
So every member has a BA.
And what is that? Is that stand for something?
Business agent.
Oh, okay.
So if I'm on a job site and, the foreman's like, yeah, you're supposed to be doing this. Well, no, I'm not. That's not my job. And they pressure you and they make you feel like, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to call my BA. My BA is going to come down and he's going to tell you to fuck off. Like, that's not his job. He's the operator. He stays in the machine. That's the laborer's job. And then the foreman's like, well, I don't want this guy here. All right, cool. And take me off. Without me there, nothing gets done. And that's how much power they have. So,
yeah. But at a job site, do they employ majority union workers then?
Most job sites are supposed to be union. Now, they have some non-union sites with non-union members. It doesn't fly very well with the unions.
Yeah. It gives the job site more flexibility, I guess.
It gives the job site a lot of flexibility because they can have a non-union operator there who knows how to run a machine, but doesn't really know how to run a machine. And they're paying that guy $20 an hour when they should be paying about $50. And now he flips the machine, or he takes part of the building down, or he hits another employee, puts him in a hospital.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they call us skilled operators, which when you pay your dues, a portion of our dues goes to a training facility, which is in Wilmington, Illinois. It's like 300 some odd acres of land, and it's got every piece of equipment that they want us to be skilled on. Before you become a full-fledged member, you have to have competencies on 3 machines. Now, granted, if the machine is part of a different family, then you're granted proficient on it. So there's skid steers, excavators, front loaders, cranes, augers, suck trucks. There's so many different things, but you go down there and like, hey, I want to learn how to run the straight blade dozer today. All right, cool, no problem. Sign your name up. You're going to be on the D5 today from 8 to 10. Learn the mechanisms, learn how to lower the blade, learn how to turn it, learn how to grade. Ease into it. Don't go too fast. Your tracks will spin. You'll dig a hole. All right, no problem. Yeah, you got an instructor out there. teaches you everything you need to know. Fundamentals, safety. All right, it's lunchtime. Come off the machines. You eat your lunch. I feel pretty good on that machine. Let me run the backhoe. No problem. Sign your name down. Here's your machine over there. You take the backhoe out and you run it from, say, 1 to 3. Same concept. Got a guy out there teaches you the fundamentals.
Wow.
How to dig it. 3 o'clock, whistle blows, you go home.
This is all because you pay your dues.
A portion of our dues goes to
cool. How many people actually utilize that?
A lot of people utilize it more in the winter because a lot of us are laid off. In the summer, it's a ghost town.
Laid off, and that's nothing the union can do?
The longer you've been in the union, the more experience you have.
Yeah.
So the more certs you have, the more, beneficial you are. So if you've been in the union for, say, 15 years, you're probably a gold card by now, which is like a top card. And you've probably got a lot of certifications, and you're pretty proficient in every machine. So, hey, I need an operator on this job that needs to run a whatever machine. Oh, yeah, no problem. They call the hall. The hall will call you. Hey, Vic, you got to go to this job site. You're going to run this for however long they need you. Versus me, I've only been in for 10 years. I don't have all those certs as you.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll call you when a job comes up.
Damn.
It's a waiting game.
It's a waiting game.
And the list is 6 pages long, anywhere from 140 people to 160, 300.
Yeah.
It's...
You told me, you described the job or the type of work to me before. And for those that are listening, like an operating engineer, like in the city of Chicago, like how would you describe the job or the type of work that this union services?
So we service any type of heavy piece of machinery.
Yeah.
Anything to do with off-road equipment is Local 150.
Yeah.
Any crane you see downtown, anything astronomical is Local 150. So we're building buildings. Our bread and butter is highways.
Okay.
So we make, pave, dig, grade highways. We build buildings.
Why the fuck do highways take forever?
There's a lot to go into it. Say the dirt is contaminated. You got to dig up the dirt. EPA's got to come out. They got to test the dirt.
Can you contaminate it with what?
Anything.
Like
diesel, grease, oil. Any type of, I guess.
I would have never thought of that.
Oh, it's bad stuff. I've been
so what that compromises the integrity of the
dirt.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Because now the contractor has to get it tested by the EPA, and then they deem it contaminated. And they're like, all right, now it's got to go to this landfill. Well, guess what? You're working in Kankakee. The landfill it's got to go to is in Zion. That's a 4-hour trip. One way.
And that comes out of their pocket?
And then it's contaminated. So now it's more money per ton to dump.
Oh.
So there's that aspect. Then you got to get the material to grade, and you got to grade everything out. Then you can only work 8 hours a day. Anything after that, it's overtime.
Interesting. And to give you perspective of how much overtime can cost, is it 1.5, 2.5, or two times the pay? Like what's overtime like?
1.5.
1.5.
So under the heavy highway contract, you make $48.75 an hour.
Base
starting.
Holy shit.
Just to get in the machine. $48.75. So now you tag on 1.5 onto that. That's what you're making. You get called out on a Saturday, it's double time.
74, yeah.
$74.
Holy shit.
Sunday, Saturday, $74 an hour.
Damn.
And that's just for us. If you're a crane operator, you make 85 starting.
How did it happen? And I'm not arguing that they should make any less, but how did it happen that union was able to fight for higher wages and EMS workers are here fucking getting table scraps? Like, how the fuck did that happen?
I just took a class about this.
Oh,
so
shit.
They basically, like I said, the more members in the union, the stronger the union. So without operating engineers, your job will not get done.
Yeah.
Because Local 150 will not allow a non-union member in a machine. You're taking work away from us. So we are skilled We're skilled operators. We're proficient. We know
But you
how
can't.
to do it.
Wait, but you can't stop a job site from putting a non-union. You can.
They'll pick it.
How? Wait, what do you mean?
So they teach you, friends don't let friends cross the picket line. So they'll have members of Local 150, other members, they're operating engineers, on a job site, and they'll be out there on strike for,
Sure,
granted, for using non-union employees.
but
As an operator, if I cross that picket line, I'm deemed to hell.
if you were non-union, what if you were non-union?
Go ahead. They'll pick it and pick it and pick it, and they'll be there every day, all day, until they shut that job down.
But what if all these other non-union workers come in and start working?
They won't allow it.
Who won't allow it?
The union, Local 150.
What do you mean they won't? How do they have control over the job site?
They will pick it. That's it. That's all they will stand there for hours. They'll barbecue. They'll have trucks out there.
There's just that many people that are in 150 that will walk off.
Yeah. Because say
I think it was in our contract as Cicero saying we can't pick it while on the job.
No.
But we don't have that. Like we get paid so little that most of us have other jobs and we have to be at our other job when we're not at Cicero. So we can't afford to take the day off to pick it, you know.
Oh, they've got. If you read the fine line, they weasel their way in there like no other. It is unbelievable the amount of words they use to finesse. But I mean, I've been on job sites where they're like, "You're the operator?" It's like, "Yeah." "You're union?" "Yeah." "How old are you?" "Does it matter?" Like, "Here's my card. I'm in. Done." Like, "Where's my machine?" "Okay, it's over there." And then here comes Local 150, and they're out there with their signs on strike. As soon as you see an on strike,
You
white
stop
with
out,
red,
you stop.
that machine gets shut off. I go home. I walk right off. No, even if you're the foreman, where are you going? See you later. I'm done.
Wow.
Until they finish their strike.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, so within 150, there's more than the type of job. It's not just operating.
No, that's
engineer.
it. Operating engineer.
It's just operating engineer, but that is like an umbrella term for many different things.
Oh yeah.
Right. That's what okay. So the reach is far and wide.
We are so widespread. It is not just like.
So when our union is just for these paramedics right here,
Oh no.
it's hard to fight back.
It's for cranes. It's for highway. It's for vacuum trucks, grease trucks, semis that transport machines.
One person's getting fucked over, that everyone's gonna
shut it down.
That's cool.
Yeah, and they fight for us, which is a good thing. If privates were a union, if a private ambulance company was like, hey, you know what, we treat you like shit, we're gonna pay you this much money, and every employee of the private company was like, you know what, F you guys, we're going home. You shut them, what are they gonna do?
Right, exactly.
That's how a union forms. If everybody, one person's voice is not gonna do anything. Like, hey, yeah, I want more money. They're like, yeah, okay, dude, we can replace you with the new kid for $13. But if everybody walks out and demands more money, then they have no choice. That's basically a union.
I'm sure you heard about the University of Chicago strike.
Yeah.
Right? But they ended up paying, what, double for other nurses to come in?
Mm-hmm. To prove a point. And then realize, oh, yeah, we're a bunch of idiots, and we're paying 2 nurses' salaries for 1. Instead, we can just cut that and pay them $6-7 more, form a union, and everybody's happy. Because there's everyone gets this bad stigma that the union just wants your money. They just take. No, not really. Because if I make X amount of dollars, a portion of that goes to my pension. It goes to my medical fund. It goes to my training facility. It goes to the healthcare clinic, which covers almost everything. I don't have to go to a doctor. I get hepatitis shots, measles, mumps, you name it. I get vaccines, it. Yeah. Every vaccine, right. Everything, stitches, rashes, for free.
Yeah.
Just because they take a little bit on my paycheck, and it's not like they're taking $27. They're taking $2,
right.
$3 for a pension, $6 for a 401k.
Right.
But it's all going somewhere. So you put your time in. After 7 years, You can be like, hey, I'm done. And you can collect your pension.
Oh, cool. I didn't know. That's it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
7 years investment.
Wow, that's not a lot.
No.
That'll fly by. And you're at 3, 4?
3.
3? Okay. Like, not too, just now you just said that people would question you about being in the union, maybe because you look so young.
Yeah.
The height doesn't help either.
No.
I wish I could grow a beard.
That's why I have the beard.
We both have baby faces. And so on the ambulance and on a job site, and if you've faced any like how do you handle criticism from those that are older and maybe have more hands-on experience than you, yet here you are managing and leading? How have you kind of like internally dealt with that?
I just laugh it off. You know, I play around. I don't take anything to heart anymore.
Yeah.
You do that, and you lead yourself down a bad road.
Right.
On the ambulance, you face yourself with larger patients, and they joke around. Oh, you're so small. How you can be able to pull me? Well, you'll see. And it's always like the biggest patients that I succeed with. They're like, oh my God, you just picked me up. Yeah, just because I'm 5'2" doesn't mean I can't pick you up. I mean, I'm not like weak and fragile.
No.
I'm just short. I'm Italian. What do you expect?
It's not a little meatball.
I'm a little meatball. I'm a mozzarella stick.
Not only that, but like just because we look so young, it's like they don't feel like you're qualified to do the job. Not just like mechanically, but like mentally, I guess. The maturity as well.
Absolutely.
But yeah, like you're one of the most mature guys I know.
Well, I mean, I try.
There's a time and place for everything, but
yeah,
When
I need to be serious, I'll be serious. But other than that, I'm a goofball, man. I'll laugh about anything. But the ambulance, it was like the biggest eye-opening experience for me. Meeting a bunch of people in different situations and scenarios. They're like, oh, you're so young. And I always just joke around like, who's driving? I'm like, I am. Can you reach the gas pedals? No, I gotta scoot the seat up. I got a nice booster seat. It's got cup holders on it. But and then if you joke around, make them laugh, they're like, oh, okay, at least he's got a good sense of humor. But 9 times out of 10, I'll tell somebody, no, I just got my driver's license.
Right. I just started yesterday.
Today's day 1. Yeah. So sorry for the potholes. But I mean, they take everything funny. Nothing's taken with salt or grain.
Right.
On the job sites, I'll walk up. I used to have a big truck.
Oh, so wait. So you got rid of it?
Yeah, I got rid of it.
Because I was like, I was about to say, like, wait, that's not a truck. Like, it's a Jeep.
It's a Jeep, yeah. Well, I mean, I had a big.
This guy had a 250.
I'm 5'3". I drive a 8.5-foot truck. I mean, it was ridiculous. It was the stupidest thing I've ever done. So I'd come up on job sites in this big truck, and they see me jump out, and they're like, compensating much? I'm like, no, just look where we are. We're on a dirt road. There's holes everywhere. Why would I drive a nice car down here? So I bought a truck. I got all my tools in the back because I know you don't have shit. So guess who's got to fix it? This dum-dum. So I got rid of it. I live downtown. I can't park it anymore. I don't fit in parking garages.
Yeah.
But I'll jump out and they'll be like,
who are you?
The death's there. Like, oh, broom's over there, kid. Nah, listen here, bud. I'm in that nice fancy warm machine. So they always used to give me shit. And, like the running joke is, must be nice to be an operator. Everything's warm inside. You got the Cadillacs to the Cadillacs. It's like, yeah, you should have picked a different trade. Sorry, you're in the cold with a broom.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Now, but were they in a union? Are they in the union too?
Yeah, there'll be union laborers or there'll be union...
Laborers, okay.
Union pipe fitters, union carpenters, union iron workers.
So different union or the same union?
Different unions.
Different union, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah. You come up to a job site and everybody wants to be 150.
Interesting.
I mean, we're the cream of the crop.
Yeah, just to give people a sense of like, if you're outside of the union, you don't know what 150 means. Like, so when you say cream of the crop, that makes sense.
We're the top dog. We get paid the most, and we do the less, which is pretty crazy when you think about it. Because all you do is this is my position all day, right? I have 2 joysticks.
Yeah.
I have a radio. I have heat, Bluetooth, air conditioning, an air ride seat. Some of these machines you get into, I take my boots off.
I wouldn't have expected that.
Oh,
that seems comfortable.
It is insanely comfortable. And I mean, you got your lunch in there. Guys smoke. I don't smoke, but the window comes up. They're out there. They're smoking. They're joking around, looking around. I mean, everybody wants that. Because where else can you make $50 an hour to do nothing?
It's true. That changes the dynamic a little. So we talked about Northwestern earlier and how I start making more, but you lose the responsibility of having a patient, so you lose that fulfillment that you had as a paramedic.
Yeah.
It's a little different when you're making $50 an hour, but at Northwestern, after some time there, I was yearning for that sense of fulfillment again.
Mm-hmm.
And so on a job site, do you find yourself or other guys that you work with missing that component? Like it's obvious that they can make a living and the paycheck is great and they can put food on the table and the house or a roof over the head. But is there, is anything missing from that? Do they feel like they dread going to work, or, are they yearning for more? Because you also told me that there were some guys that said that, oh, you were a paramedic? That's such a cool job. You know, like, is there anything like that?
Oh, every day.
Okay.
Every day. I meet tons of guys where they're just like, hey, man, like, what are you doing? It's like, well, I'm getting older. I need to make money. I need to buy a house.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, but you were a paramedic. Like, that's such a cool thing to do. Like, you get to see all this crazy stuff and meet all these people. I'm like, yeah, it's noble work. I love what I do. I'm passionate about it, but I only made $18 an hour. And they're like, poof. They're like, what? I'm like, yeah, I only made $18 an hour to take care of somebody for point A to point B. If you died in front of me, $18. If you poop your pants, $18. And they're, okay. And then I come here, I'm like, yeah, I do this, and this, and I miss the ambulance, absolutely. Every day I'm like, man, am I really happy doing what I'm doing, or should I go back to the ambulance? But, I mean, there's just reality sits in.
Yeah.
You can't do it anymore.
Interesting. But and it worked out for you because, you grew up around this kind of stuff. You played with it like when you were 13 years old. And I'm sure a lot of guys solely got into this because they knew it was a paycheck.
Yeah. And 9 out of 10 people, that's all they say.
I looked up, there's a YouTube video on Local 150.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone in that video is, talking about the money.
Yeah.
And it just left a bad taste in my mouth. I'm like, that's...
Oh, where do you even start? For most of us, we make anywhere between $48 and $51 an hour.
Yeah.
And 9 out of 10 guys are like, yeah,
That's all they talk about.
I don't like coming to work. I don't want to run a machine. I'm just here for the paycheck. I'm here to support my family. And it's funny because a lot of the guys might make $2,000-$3,000 a week, but they live a lifestyle they can't afford. So they have a $700,000 home. They drive a $100,000 pickup truck. All their kids go to Catholic high schools. They play hockey. They paintball on the weekends. They've got the newest phones, the newest shoes. And then you make the money during busy seasons, and then come November, December, you're laid off for 4 months. You can make anywhere from, say, $8,000 to $15,000 a month, but when you're cut off for 5-6 months, how do you pay your mortgage? How do you pay your car note? How do you pay tuition? So, I mean, I sometimes I get a bad taste in my mouth because I'm around a lot of guys that think that way, and I'm like, well, I'm here because I enjoy it. Like, I enjoy coming to work. I enjoy messing around with you guys. Like, it's grab ass all day. It's the same as the ambulance, but the other 10%, I'm like, man, I'm wasting my talent. Like, I'm a sponge, man. Anything I put my mind to, I absorb it. So it's like to go through all these years of schooling for EMS, to have 8 years of experience on an ambulance, to meet a bunch of cool people that have the same mindset as me. It's hard to sit in a machine and make this amount of money when I know that deep down I don't want to do it.
It was hard to not... I was restless at the firehouse when there was dead periods because I'd only pick up shifts on the weekends.
Yeah.
It was hard to sit there and just napping's great, but you just sit and just nap on the lazy boy or on the chair and watch movies all day.
How many movies can you watch in one day?
Oh, you'd be surprised. But there was one guy who was taking... He's in law school and would study while at the firehouse.
Smartest move you can make.
What?
Yeah. Why not get paid and go to school? Cheat the system. But no one thinks that way. Let me just sit here and eat 3 meals a day. We could play cards, smoke cigars, play some basketball. That's our workout for the day. Then we'll take a nap. We'll watch a movie together.
But So I don't know if I didn't tell you yet, but like I made a new line of like hoodies and stuff, and like the theme of that is it's gonna say where's your top, and so everyone has their level of work-life balance.
Yeah.
And so if your ideal work-life balance is, eating the 3 meals, working out, taking a nap, and you're happy about it,
Yeah.
do you, man. But like if you're yearning for more, don't just sit there and complain.
Yeah.
So if there's people at the job site complaining, man, there's other 16 hours of your day when you're not working to go do something about it.
Absolutely. People are content, man. They're stuck, especially in the construction world. They're stuck in this mindset where, hey, I'm happy with what I do.
Yeah.
I'm happy waking up at 3 o'clock in the morning, driving 2 hours to go to work. Then I work for 12 hours, and then I got to drive home another 2 hours. By the time I get home, it's 7 o'clock. I'm exhausted. You don't want to talk to your wife. You don't want to interact with your kids. You don't even eat dinner. And then you're doing it again. So I'm never satisfied in life. That's my personality. I'm never satisfied. I'm always chasing the next big thing.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's what separates me from a lot of the other guys I work with. I mean, granted, the 3 guys I work with, one's 52, the other one's like 45, another one's like 30-something. So they've been doing it for a long time. But it's funny because they're just like, yeah, I'm just here for a paycheck. It's the same thing. I'm like, man.
But are they complaining?
One will complain because that's all he does. He just likes to complain.
If they don't complain, if they're a hard worker, then I can't. I have nothing to complain about. Then
No, but hard worker versus working is two different. Now that's two different terms because when it's like I said, it comes down to the money. Wow, all I gotta do is run this machine. I'm getting paid regardless. Yeah, but you can go the extra mile, man.
Yeah. I guess, is there a way to encourage someone else? You can't force someone to do it, but put them in a situation to where they, like, an inspiring situation to motivate them to want to work harder or, like, to seek fulfillment. Like, because you're not born with a passion, so you can, like, cultivate it in the space that you're in. And so I wonder if there's a way at the job site to create meaning within the work you do. Like, how can you instill a bigger vision into your team to where whatever you let them know that whatever you're doing will have a great impact, will have a ripple effect.
Yeah. So with the guys that I work with, where I work, there's 4 of us. And so it's funny because they're older and I'm the youngest and I'm technically the boss. One or two of them have a problem with that when I actually have to discipline or tell them what to do.
Yeah.
The other one's just like, oh yeah, cool, I love it, man. You should be the boss. Why do I have to be the boss? You're the new guy. Well, I say, listen, guys, everything that we do here, it puts a paycheck on our table. It allows us to do things that normally we wouldn't be able to do. We can go on trips. We can go out to nice places. We can buy our wives the nice purse she wants or the new heels. But I said, if we don't work as a team, then we're all going to get the shit out of the stick. Because at the end of the day, we're replaceable. So if you guys don't want to put forth the effort, I'll tell the real boss, like, hey, man, this guy's a lazy piece of shit. Like, call the hall, get a new guy down here. Because someone always wants to work. So I think they finally started to understand, like, my thought process. And basically, it's every day I tell them, we're here to work. Let's do the work, go home, no accidents, look at the positive things in life. And they're finally starting to, turn the wheel a little bit. So it's hard. It's hard to teach older guys that when their mindset's already planted.
Yeah.
Their glass is full already versus me, I'm half full. I'm still learning.
Right.
I'm still looking for greatness. They've been doing it 10, 20, 30 years. One guy's been doing it for 42 years.
And so do they ask themselves, like, how am I not in a leadership or management role? And I mean, do they want to be? Because not everyone wants to be either.
No. 2 of them don't want to be the ones like, I could do your job. It's like, oh, you could do my job. Go ahead. You can have it. I'll let you do everything today. Here's my phone. Every phone call, go ahead, answer it. It's like, no, I don't want that responsibility. I said, yeah, that's what I thought. Oh. So you want to do it, but you don't want to do it. You just want the title. I don't want to be a boss. Who the fuck wants to be a boss? I just want to go to work, do my job, be happy with what I'm doing, and go home, enjoy my life.
Right.
I don't want the 67 phone calls a day. Why is this machine not running? Well, we ran out of gas. Oh, well, this truck just flipped in the yard. All right, dude, what do you want me to do? So it's like, well, the hours don't match up. Oh, God. Okay, well, let me figure out. Let me call right back. Let me look at the spreadsheet.
Yeah.
Let me do this. Let me do that. I mean, it's all day from 5 a.m. to 5 p.m. Phone calls, people coming in. Oh, they told me to talk to Anthony. Who's Anthony? I'm Anthony. You're Anthony. What? Yeah, dude, what's the problem? You never seen a short kid before? Like, come on. I mean, it's just every day it's a new obstacle. It's a new struggle. And they want to take on the role, but they really don't.
Yeah.
So it's a complicated thing to do, but they're adjusting to it.
Okay, cool. That's good to hear. No, they seem like nice guys. I met some of them.
Yeah.
Can you talk about the like providing like the actual what you do, right? So like people come in and they're seeking materials.
Yeah.
Can you share that a little bit about that?
Yeah. So we are a material yard. So like the guys who are out on the highways or who are working downtown at the buildings, they have to meet a certain inspection. So if they're digging up the street and there's a gas line down, state inspection comes out and they say, hey, you need this material, this one, this one, this one. So they come to our yard, the truck or whoever is working, and we'll load them with the material. Then they go, they dump it, they come back to get the next one. But it's an all-day process, and it's not just that one truck. It's 200, 300, 400 trucks a day working Chicagoland.
What kinds of materials?
So we've got sand, stone, dirt, mulch. We got like 6 different types of stone that is state certified, inspected, or whatever the case may be. We've got concrete that we break into small pieces and gets fed through a concrete crusher that makes more stone. What else is there? We make sand. We got sand in one of our other yards. In our other yard, we have garbage. It's just straight concrete and debris, or construction debris. So it's bricks, asphalt, wood chips, building demolitions, timber, tires, mattresses.
And who uses that? Who would pick up? What do you mean? Like
people drop it off.
Why would they drop it off to you though?
They have nowhere else to go.
What?
Yeah. Where else are you going to put it?
There's no scrapyard? Or?
I mean, the scrapyard only takes scrap, so like metals or brass or anything of that sort. But if you've got 17 truck tires, where are you going to put it? In the alley? That's got to go somewhere.
I didn't know it goes to you.
Yeah.
Wait, then who picks it up from you?
We'll shred it, and then we'll ship it out to somewhere else that takes it, and then they'll burn it down, make oil, make gas, whatever the process is. I don't know that process, but everything gets broken down and divided. It'll go through a conveyor line, and then we've got people up there, and they sort it out. So if a trunk comes in and just dumps a bunch of shit, it'll go on the conveyor belt, and there's 20 guys up there, and they'll pick out all the wood. It'll go down one belt. All the brick will go down another belt. Asphalt, roofing shingles, mattresses, everything gets split into different sections, and then it gets binded up and gets put into a transfer truck, and then that truck brings it to destination A. The wood and the asphalt goes to destination B. So everything kind of gets distributed, but it'll come to us. We separate it because that's how we make the money.
Okay. And on a busy day, how many trucks are coming through, and you have to manage kind of the logistics of that. And we talked about how 20 trucks tried to come in at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
And, how many trucks are coming in, right? So you have a radio and you're listening to dispatch. And it's not like these truckers are independently choosing when and where to go. They're being told where and when to go.
So it works both ways. So the trucks will come in, and then there's also trucks dumping. So a truck will come in empty, pick up material, but then there might be 3 trucks behind it that have concrete on it or have dirt or whatever else. So on a slow day, there's probably 100, 150 trucks in and out. On a busy day, there's anywhere between 300 and 400 trucks.
Whoa, oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Constantly. In and out, dumping, picking up. And I mean, there's 2 machines in there. There's another machine on top of a hill that processes it. There's another machine in the back that breaks the concrete down. Then we have our crushers. So that machine is on top feeding the crushers. So it's nonstop back and forth. So let's call it 325, 350 trucks on a busy day. And so as the manager of the yard, I'm in a loader, and basically if they bring something in that doesn't really, it's not supposed to belong there, I'll look at it and say, yeah, no, it's fine. Just put it in the back and we'll sort through it. Any questions, you come to me. Anybody off the street comes to me. Any salesman, any broken parts, anything that we need, fluids, gas, materials, maintenance, it all comes through me. Phone calls, dispatch, bosses, the CEO. I'm in charge of the hours. I'm in charge of maintenance of machines. I'm in charge of calling for gas. If the fluids are low, I'm in charge of calling for that.
It's a lot of responsibility, man.
It's a lot of responsibility. I mean, for 27 years old.
And your background to come up from, it's you're coming from a medic, which is like a little different, you know. Not that you couldn't handle it. I mean, you're very detail oriented and diligent on the ambulance, so it makes sense why you're in this role now. But yeah, for the average Joe, like, that's a lot to handle. Yeah,
and a lot of people, they don't understand that concept. Like the guys I work with, they just see it as another day in a machine.
Yeah,
but
there's
really
behind
not.
the scenes.
It's
right. You've become a master when you can make hard things look easy.
Yeah.
Especially because a lot of the hard things are behind the scenes anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And so with loading, these trucks eventually have to be on a scale, and they should be below weight or below maximum load, which you said, 72,000 pounds?
Yeah.
And so when you're loading, they're not on a scale. You're eyeballing.
Yeah. So it's basically, it's the luck of the draw on the machine that you are in for the day.
Okay.
So we've all got our own machines.
Okay.
Now, granted, if you take care of it, if you smoke in it, you want to fart on the seats, that's your business. I have my machine. You don't touch it. I have a scale on my machine.
Oh.
Now, granted, my machine is currently getting fixed on, so I am in a piece of crap spare machine. No scale, no heat, no radio, windshield's broke. So it's all just eyeballing at that point. I mean, when you do it every day, when you do 300 trucks a day, you got the concept down.
Sure.
So it's the tractor might weigh, I don't know, call it 26,000 pounds. The trailer might weigh another 10. So now you're at 32, right? Give or take a few pounds. It's usually 2 buckets in the front, a bucket in the middle, and then you sprinkle a little bit over the top. It gives you a nice mound. Now, we've had guys that come in at 102,000 pounds.
When they're dumping off?
Yeah. 102,000 pounds.
Okay.
Extremely
way
dangerous.
Above. Yeah.
Yeah.
For those that like dangerous as far as like stopping power. Yeah. Exactly.
Because if a kid ran out in front of me and that truck's behind me, that truck's taking out everything in its path for at least a football field.
Oh wow.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Wow.
Because the heavier you are, the longer it's not like you're not going to stop automatically.
No.
So 72,000 pounds is our ideal weight. Do we get it every time? No.
Now, when they come in overweight, do they get in trouble?
Not unless Cook County pulls them over.
So you're not going to ding them?
No, I don't care. And the more you bring in, the more I make.
Okay. Now, how often are like officials there then? Never.
Never. We're pretty self-sufficient. I mean, I won't call unless I desperately need something. Like if the bucket on the machine falls off, I need a welder. I can't. I got to call for that. Other than like a tire blows out, I'll call for that.
And then if that official was out there and they saw that something was overweight, then they'd have to say something? Like, is there like a mandatory, like you have to say something? Like if we saw child abuse on the ambulance, we have to say something, right?
No. If a truck comes in at 100,000 pounds, I won't say anything.
But they just put lives in danger.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And Cook County Sheriff has a truck enforcement task force. And so, I mean, you can tell how much a truck weighs off their tires. If your tires
That's why they occasionally I see like trucks pulled over.
Yeah. They'll ding you, man. They've got scales everywhere. They're like, hey, follow me. We're going to put you on the scale. And it's $1,000 for every 1,000 pounds you're over.
That's a lot of pounds, or that's a lot of dollars.
Yeah.
For that one person that went to
102,000 from 72.
$30,000.
Yeah, that's just your fine. Now, if the cop's a real dick, he'll hit you for everything. tractor, trailer, and your load. Now you're at $102,000.
Oh.
If you're
Not just the extra?
No, they'll hit you for everything because they can. Because you know better. That's how Cook County makes their money too.
And so who pays for that? The driver or the company?
It's supposed to be the company, but the drivers know the legal weight. So if it's like a $6,000 fine, usually the driver pays for that. The company won't pay because you know better.
Yeah, they should, right?
Yeah, you're a professional driver. That's your job.
Ooh, here's a good question. With the onset of automated truck drivers or trucks,
Yeah.
right? How's that? I mean, I don't know. Is there any word on the street about losing jobs or things like that? And that's not going to happen within the next decade. But like, Elon Musk is like coming up with self-driving trucks, and so can you imagine like driverless trucks, and even the trucks have scales or something? Or, it's like they can it's all automatic at that point.
It'll never happen.
Oh shit!
No, it'll never happen. Not in our lifetime.
Yeah.
I mean, you need human error at some point. I mean, you need the human to get out and inspect the truck. I mean, you got a humanless truck. It's an automated truck. How do you know if your air brakes are bad? How do you know if your airbags are depleted? The truck will go.
Sure, there's sensors.
To a point, yeah, absolutely. But I mean, you still need the naked eye to inspect it. Yeah. I mean, you can do as many mechanical things as you want. You still need that.
I wonder if they're going to put that on you guys, the people at the job sites, the people at the receiving end, the people at the destination, to be those human eyes, to check those out.
Well, I mean, we do help out to a point, because a lot of guys, they'll come in there in a rush and they'll dump their load, and then they'll fly halfway across the yard, and then they'll get in line to get loaded, and then we're going to load them, and then half the load comes off the ass end because they didn't lock their tailgate.
Oh my God.
And it happens at least 20, 30 times a day.
And so I'm sure you've gotten to the point where
that's the first thing
you
I
feel
look
like you have to baby them. You're like, hey, did you lock the back? Hey, did you?
Yeah, I locked it back. Are you kidding me? Well, no, you didn't, because half your load's on the ground now. Now I got to scoop it up and put it back.
Oh.
So it's a constant. I mean, you get new drivers like, hey, man, my brakes are locked up. Can you pull me to the front of the yard? My mechanic's coming. I mean, yeah.
With what?
With the machine. What? Put a chain to the truck on the machine when you pull them halfway through the yard.
Oh, wow.
Brakes are locked up. You're digging holes everywhere. It's a daycare center for grown men. It's so stupid. I mean, I had one guy last week. He told me, "Can you check my transmission fluid? I don't know where it is."
How are you supposed to know where it is?
Well, I have a good concept of trucks. It's on the firewall, which is by the tire. So it's the engine bay.
But like you're not expected to know.
No, absolutely not. But I mean, I do know. So it's been a lot of guys come to me because I do know.
Okay.
They're like, hey, yeah, this is. Don't tell anybody, but I fucked up. It's like, yeah, dude. So, I mean, this guy's been driving for years. You don't know where your transmission stick is? So we get it. Yeah, bone dry.
Oh.
Like to the point where you blow your transmission up.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh,
so it's a baby daycare. Very expensive daycare center.
What's kind of next for you? Is there room to move up within the space you're in right now, or are you just kind of doing the day-to-day until you get called, or what's kind of on the horizon?
There's always room to grow. So at the company that I'm at, I'm in a good position where I don't want to go any further. I don't want to be part of management. I want to be in the machine.
Because you still want to be on the ground.
Yeah, I want to be out there with the guys. I want to be laughing, having fun, having coffee in the morning, talking about what we're going to do throughout the day.
Yeah.
I want that kind of interaction.
That's a good leader.
You get to behind the scenes at the headquarters.
You lose
everything. Everybody's sneaky. They're talking shit about each other, about all the workers out in the field. This guy's lazy. He don't want to do this. This guy sucks.
Yeah.
No, man. A good
everywhere
boss.
For some reason. That's everywhere. Yeah.
I mean, a good boss doesn't do that. You defend. You stick up for everybody. So where I am now, no, I don't want to grow. Through the union, yes, I'd like to be a crane operator. Absolutely. So that's 8 classes. You've got to have X amount of working hours. You've got to take an introduction, a hoisting class. There's a long syllabus of things you got to do. So that's further down the line.
That's cool. That it feels longer than critical care.
Oh, yeah. Oh, Jesus.
Isn't that funny?
Oh my goodness! But that's like an 8-year process.
You're right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's just like an extra cert on top of all that, right? So.
Well, once you become a crane operator, you're done.
Oh.
I mean, because you can do everything at that point. You can run machines. You can drive a truck.
This would be cool, like a cool side thing to have when you get on the fire department.
Oh yeah.
This is cool.
Because as long as you're a card member and you pay your dues, you'll always have a pension. I mean, as long as you constantly pay into
Even
it.
if you're not working?
Yeah.
Okay. Because, there's that, like, 90-day thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But, I mean, if the fire department called me tomorrow, it'd be a hard thing to do.
Yeah.
I don't know if I would jump ship. But
then would you wait another 4 years?
To put my name back on and then potentially another 3 years for a call?
Yeah.
That's a hard one.
7 years. Because, like, are you also thinking about, like, when you'd want to retire and all that, like, off the fire department? And
No, as long as I'm able to work, I'll work. Probably 60, 65. I mean, because you got to think about the fire department at that point, too. Like, you're never going to be... I mean, you could be, absolutely. You could just be the ambulance driver for your entire career. But, I mean, you're waking up, your body's getting beat, your knees are getting blown out. So, you work your way up the totem pole. Mm-hmm. So you start as a FPM, and then you make officer, and then you graduate to an AC. So I think end goal fire department would be field chief, which is everybody's goal. But if I was a field chief at 57, I go on 3 calls a day. I have my own car.
Is it the one downtown? Where's that? 57?
No, 57 years old.
Oh,
if I was a field chief at 57 years old, I could work till I'm 70. But then everyone's like, why would you work 40 years?
Because you love it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because I love it.
Yeah.
What am I going to do at home in retirement? You got a family. You got kids.
But you also have a lot of hobbies.
I have very expensive hobbies.
I interviewed someone. Who retired early at like 53, and we were like, "What are you gonna do now?" She doesn't like to travel and she doesn't like food, and it's like, she's like, "Yeah, I kind of, I don't miss going into work, but I honestly don't know what to do like every day." And it's like what? What's the point to life?
My stomach just turned. What a sin! That's a mortal sin.
So you have a lot of hobbies.
Yeah,
we gotta go shooting still.
Yeah, I love anything that's gonna get me in trouble. Anything fast.
Oh yeah.
So, cars, boats.
Yeah, I remember when we went to go watch a Fast and Furious movie. Oh, and the next like Fast and Furious 20 is coming out, so like
13 years later. Goodness. Yeah, I mean, good laughs, good times. I mean, yeah. I mean, my dad's 48. He wants to retire already.
That's it? Oh my God. Okay.
48. He's like, yeah, I'm done. I think I'm gonna hang it up. You're 48 years old. You're done?
Wait, he's a businessman though. Like you can.
Yeah, my dad owns a plumbing business, so he's been doing it since he was 21. But my mom's older, and they want to travel, and my younger brother's 21, so we're all moved out. We've got kind of our careers set. We work, and I'm like, dude, if you retire now, you'll be dead by 57, because if you don't die on your own, she's gonna kill you. I said, no one can stay at home and wake up every single day to your wife yelling at you. Why didn't you take the garbage out? You kicked all the covers off me last night. I'm like, I'm going to find a fucking part-time job.
I'm going to be a Walmart greeter.
Yeah. I go stuff bags at the Jewel. I don't know, something. But you know what? If you want to do it, you do it. He doesn't have hobbies, though. He doesn't like cars. He likes food. He's a big boy.
Yeah.
But, I mean, he'll golf here and there, but he sucks. The club goes further than the ball. So, I don't know. It's just find something in life that...
And what would you say about the company that you keep?
The company that I keep, huh? I keep people around me who better me. So, anybody who motivates me or pushes me to be a better person is who I keep around. So, I'm very friendly. I'm very personable.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think everybody wants to be my friend, but I do draw people. I don't know. It's just something about like my charisma. Like I just draw people in. Like I want to have a conversation. But there's also a lot of negative people that I meet too. And there's a lot of negative people that I've known for more than half my life. Like, so I live with three other guys. There's four of us total. Two are paramedics, or all four of us are paramedics. Two work for the fire department. One works at Cook County Jail. So it's like every day is a battle of what we can do to make each other better.
Huh.
And that's just the three that I live with. So, and then there's the other 12 or 13 guys that, I was in diapers with, that, we played t-ball together with. We went to high school together. I went to paramedic school with Tyler. We grew up together. We were at the same daycare center. So it's a lot of my friends growing up on the South Side, they have this South Side closed-minded mentality where it's just work, 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 work. There's no drive. I need to make money. I need to do this. I need to do that. Every day it's, what am I going to do? There's no passion. There's a few guys who kind of better themselves, but a lot of them are in the union. A lot of them are laborers. One's a garbage man. One's a
dude, have him come on.
A garbage man?
Is he cool?
He's a cook. He's a Chicago garbage man.
Is he cool?
He hates it.
Oh fuck! No,
it's like I smell like shit all day long. My girlfriend doesn't let me sleep upstairs. I got to take my clothes off in my car. I'm like, oh my god.
I don't know. Yeah, I've always kind of wanted one.
He's a funny guy. I mean,
I'm curious about it.
He was actually on a dog walk, which is like a part of Barstools. He was on.
Really?
He was on there for like 30-minute podcast or whatever like that.
Okay, you'll have to throw me some material.
Yeah, but I mean, and even them, like, there's maybe 3 or 4 out of the 13 that are still like, hey, like, they're like, fuck you, they're like, you got that because of your daddy, or this and that. Like, there's like they bash me. It's like, it's not my fault that I moved out. It's not my fault that my car is paid off. It's not my fault that I make good money because I put the time in. I'm not out every Friday night like you, getting drunk, pissing my pants. I'm not at the same bar. Saturday night, Friday, Saturday, it's the same 2 bars every weekend since we were 16.
Oh wow,
16 years old.
Yeah.
We're 27. So for your time, 11 years, you go to the same bar on Friday, and then Saturday you go to the same bar, same conversations, same people. How many times you piss your bed? My cousin, 28, has been in 4 different unions. He pisses his bed once a weekend.
Wow,
That's disgusting. That drunk.
Oh.
No motivation in life. And then has the audacity to tell me that you're spoiled, you're entitled, you're lucky. Well, no, not really, because I don't go out.
No.
I work.
They see these things,
I
right?
work 2 full-time jobs.
Like you earned it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I kind of distant myself from them and focus more on building myself. So the 3 guys I live with, they're my rock, in a sense. There's like 3 or 4 out of the kids I grew up with who, they motivate me. They, I guess they encourage me. They support it. They're like, yeah, dude, do whatever you want to do. I mean, no girlfriend. All I do is work. But I mean, it's not a bad thing. It's just I'm trying to set myself up for my future.
Yeah.
Versus getting drunk every weekend. Why waste my money on beer when I could put that money towards a house or real estate?
Right.
It's kind of like my mentality is much different than theirs.
Yeah.
I guess I'm more mature in a sense.
That's funny. And how do you go about finding more like that? More people of the same mindset?
It's hard. It's not hard. It's a complicated thing because I'm at the stage in life where I don't deal with bullshit anymore. Like, if you want to joke around and like jerk off, like, you do it on your own time. Like, you're not going to waste my time. So it, like, you meet guys that kind of have the same drive as you. Like, they want to buy the income properties. They want to live, they want to do X, Y, Z. They want to work to an extent, but they also want to enjoy their life with their friends and loved ones. So the 3 that I live with, we're all in the same boat. We work, we make money, we put our money into income or real estate to better ourselves.
Right.
Versus the other group is just they work to get the paycheck, to go out, to get drunk, to do it again. So I mean, I don't know. It's like you and I. Like, how are we still friends after all this time? Right?
Yeah.
Because
well, you check in with friends from time to time, and you kind of see where they're at and what they're still doing, and if if something inspires me or motivates me, you know, I'm gonna reach out. Even like with my best friends, like I don't talk to them for sometimes weeks on end, and we just pick up where you leave off.
Yeah.
Because I understand that they're busy, I'm busy, and we're all working on our own thing. And but if lately, like if I'm thinking of someone, like it's not hard to shoot them a text. I'll shoot them a text. I was pretty bad about that in the past, but I think I've been saying this recently, like good work begets good work. So if you are doing good work yourself, I think people will you'll attract other people that are doing that.
Absolutely. Even people you don't even know.
Yeah.
You know, it's just the vibe you throw off. You just glow.
Yeah. Yeah.
So and most people are negative people. You know,
Right.
There's very few people that are like, hey man, you know, you're doing a great job. We should go out sometime. We should get a drink. We should what's the new lingo? Link up.
Yeah.
You know, it's like,
yeah.
all right, yeah, no problem.
And so just to close everything up, what advice would you give to someone trying to seek out an operating role?
Don't be discouraged.
By what?
The amount of time it takes to get a call.
Oh.
Don't let it affect you. Whatever you're doing in life, even if it's a shitty thing, just, you know, look at the positives. Look at the long term. Be optimistic. I applied 3 years ago. It took me a year to even get a phone call. And then once I got my phone call, it took me like another 6 months to get through everything. Mm. And then that's a year and a half. That was a year and a half in the ambulance. A year and a half of making shit money. Mm-hmm. So just be optimistic. I mean, if this is something you want to do, not because of the money, granted the money's great, it's going to allow you to do things in life, but apply. Give it a whirl. Mm-hmm. Just when you get the phone call 3 years later, don't be like,
Is there a way to sample the job before committing? You know, because
yes,
it's hard because you have to be in the union to get these jobs, but then like,
well, there's non-union companies as well that'll
right.
You know, let anybody come in as long as you have like the general concept of it.
Right.
But a lot of it's on the job training.
Okay.
So as long as you have, I wouldn't say like the background, if you have the motivation, and you can do anything you want to do in the world.
Right.
So apply. You know, get in, learn. Don't be narrow-minded. Don't be closed off. Don't, you know, if the older guy's like, hey, you know, that's not right. Don't be like, yeah, okay, dude, whatever. I'm gonna do it my way. No, listen, because they've been in our shoes. They've done it.
And I'm sure even as a manager nowadays, you're still of that mindset.
I still watch
the open-minded. Yeah.
They do things that I don't do because I think it's unorthodox, and they do things that I do because they're like, oh, I've never seen that take on it before.
Yeah.
So I mean, you constantly learn from each other. In any work
Just
field.
because you're in a managerial role doesn't mean you know everything.
I'm not better than you because I'm a manager. I'm in this position because I have leadership.
Well,
yeah, I'm OCD.
Yeah.
That's all it is to it. I mean, I watch you guys.
This
every
guy
day.
would make the best looking stretchers I've ever seen.
Oh, God. It was bad.
From the towels to the blankets to the buckles, like everything was neatly
Wiped down.
tucked and wiped. We could eat shrimp off of a
Oh
stretcher.
man, you could do whatever you want on that stretcher. It was flawless. And people would ruin it and lay on it. One wrinkle would set me off.
Right. Yeah. Every time someone just throws the sheet on there, it's like, no, we're not doing that.
Oh, the absolute, like the disrespect you have for me right now. I can't believe you. Come in, just rip the sheet straight off. Like, seriously, dude? Whatever, you can fix it again. That took me 5 minutes. You do the racing stripe down the middle, you know? My goodness. Funny. And then the nurses make fun of you, or patients like, oh yeah, that looks good. Let me get on that. How much for a ride? What kind of insurance you got? Oh,
Yeah,
man.
That's all I had, buddy.
Huh.
Thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in. I'll catch you guys in the next episode. Where can they find you? If you want people to find you, you don't have to.
I mean, what, like social media?
Anything you
I
want.
mean, I got Instagram.
Yeah, Instagram. We'll drop the links in the
Yeah.
section below. Stay curious. Aloha. I'll see you in the next episode.